Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Tim.
And I'm Debbie.
Today, we've got some really fascinating material you brought in, info about a Black Magic at Mayong and Wildlife Tour from Five Senses Tours.
Yeah, it looks like a really unusual one.
It does. So we're going to really dig into what makes this part of India and, well, this specific tour so unique.
Exactly. And what's so interesting is how it jams together these two almost opposite things, You've got Mayong, famous or maybe infamous for black magic.
Right, the Hogwarts of India nickname.
Uh-huh. And then right nearby, Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, which is all about rhinos, like tons of rhinos.
Okay, so quite the mix.
Totally. So our mission today really is to understand the history, the culture behind Mayong's magic stuff,
Yeah.
and how that sits next to the natural side of things at Pobitora.
And ultimately, what kind of journey this offers someone who's curious about, well, both the strange and the wild.
Precisely. What you might get out of it.
Okay, let's start with Mayong then. That Hogwarts label definitely grabs your attention. It does, doesn't it?
The info paints it as this village steeped in, well, centuries of witchcraft and sorcery.
Yeah, and the tour even mentions you might meet locals, hear stories about old sorcerers, what they supposedly did.
Sounds like stepping right into a legend.
It really does. And this reputation, it's not new. We're talking centuries of stories, folklore.
Not just whispers, but real beliefs.
Apparently so. Beliefs in sorcerers, doing, incredible things, making people vanish, turning into animals,
Whoa.
even taming wild beasts, supposedly. That Hogwarts thing, it's catchy, but it hints at something genuinely old and deep-rooted there.
It's amazing to think a place carries that kind of, well, mystical weight for so long. And you mentioned it even links back to the Mahabharata.
Yeah, that's a key point in the material. It connects Mayom's magic to Ghatotkacha.
Right, from the epic.
Exactly. Suggesting this place was seen as the source of his supernatural powers.
So that really anchors it, doesn't it? Takes it beyond local legend into something, well, fundamental to Indian tradition. Gives it real historical depth.
Absolutely. That connection is, I think, really important. It suggests this region's reputation for unusual power goes back millennia. It shapes its identity.
And it's not just stories passed down, is it? There's a museum.
The Mayong Museum.
Yeah.
And the stuff inside sounds pretty intense.
Like what?
Ancient manuscripts, apparently skulls, ritual objects, even mentions tools potentially used for human sacrifice.
Okay, that's pretty dark. Very tangible link to the past, though.
It is. It makes it feel much more real than just legends, seeing actual artifacts. And it's not all just the sort of scary stuff. There are other historical things, too. Stone statues, old coins, even jewelry made from bone and shell. Gives you a broader picture.
So the museum is where you can really confront this history, the mystical reputation made physical. Fascinating, maybe a bit unsettling.
Definitely. And something else mentioned is the Mayong Central Museum and Emporium preserving texts on Tantra Kriya.
Tantric rituals.
Yeah, and also Ayurveda.
Ah, okay, so magic and traditional medicine.
Exactly. It suggests this interesting blend, doesn't it? The spiritual, the healing, all kind of mixed together.
That intersection is really interesting. It points towards a more maybe holistic view back then, where magic and healing weren't totally separate.
Seems like it. So while we hear black magic, the reality might have been more complex. These manuscripts suggest deep knowledge in healing and spiritual practices, too.
Right. It's not just the spooky stuff. There's a tradition of knowledge there, preserved. We need a more nuanced view, maybe.
Good way to put it. It wasn't just one thing.
Okay, but then the tour pivots, right? Away from the magic and history.
Yeah, complete change of scene. Heads over to the Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary.
Which is famous for?
Rhinos, specifically the one-horned rhino. And apparently it has the highest density of them anywhere in the world.
Wow, okay. So you go from ancient magic texts and potentially human sacrifice tools.
To seeing rhinos roaming free, it's a deliberate contrast.
A very vivid one, from the mystical and historical to the very real, very present natural world.
Yeah. You could explore the reserve, too. Options for an elephant safari or a jeep ride.
So in one day, you could be contemplating, sorcerers turning into tigers, and then later you might actually see a massive rhino up close.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this tour, it seems. That incredible range of experience packed into just hours.
It really showcases the diversity of that region, doesn't it? Culture, history, nature, all right there.
Absolutely. It's a slice of India's complexity, really. The ancient and the wild, side by side.
Now, going back to Mayong for a sec, The information suggests these traditions aren't just history lessons. People still practice forms of it.
That's right. It mentions how things have adapted.
Yeah.
Many villagers now are healers using that traditional knowledge.
So incorporating bits of what used to be called black magic or witchcraft into healing.
Seems so. They call the practitioners Bez or Oja, and they use herbs, natural stuff, but also ancient mantras, drawing on that same historical knowledge base.
Interesting. So the tradition evolves.
Yeah, it suggests it's found a new sort of purpose, focus on healing, on well-being for the community.
So maybe the fear around the black magic label has faded a bit,
Possibly.
but the underlying knowledge, the tradition itself, is still valued, just used differently.
Exactly. It's treated more like a cultural treasure now, maybe, but one with practical applications in traditional medicine.
That makes sense. It's not just disappearing, it's transforming.
Which makes it fascinating for, researchers, history buffs, or just curious travelers. It's a living tradition in a way.
Definitely paints a compelling picture. And the tour logistics sound pretty smooth, too.
Yeah, it seems well thought out. An 8-hour guided tour, private car, pick up and drop off in Guwahati.
Covers the travel, the guide, entrance fees, even lunch. Takes the hassle out of it.
Right. They mentioned an Innova for bigger groups, sedan for smaller ones, or a single person. Makes it comfortable.
The pricing seems tiered.
RS $6,500 per person if you have 4 or more. RS $8,000 each for 2 or 3 people. And RS $12,000 if you're going solo.
Okay, good to know. And the schedule.
Looks like an 8 a.m. start from your hotel in Guwahati. Head to Pobitora first for the wildlife.
See the rhinos.
Yeah. Then over to Mayong to explore the village and its history, and back to your hotel by around 5 p.m.
Sounds like a full day, but manageable. Covers a lot of ground, both literally and thematically.
Exactly. You get a solid taste of both the wildlife and the unique culture in one go. Pretty efficient if you're based in Guwahati.
So let's wrap this up. Thinking about everything we've discussed from the sources, what's the big takeaway about Mayong and Pobitora?
I think it's that convergence, really. History, spirituality, nature,
Yeah.
all woven together in this one small area is quite unique.
Yeah, the contrast is stark, but also intriguing. The ancient magic stories right next door to this incredible wildlife sanctuary.
It definitely challenges your expectations, doesn't it? It offers a glimpse into a part of India where these different worlds coexist.
For sure. So for anyone listening who's had their curiosity piqued, maybe by the Hogwarts of India idea or just the thought of seeing those rhinos.
Well, Five Senses Tours offers this specific way to experience it all firsthand.
Right. And if you are interested in booking this Black Magic at Mayong and Wildlife Tour, or if you just have more questions.
You can email them. The address is contact@fivesensestours.com. That's the numeral 5.
Contact@fivesensestours.com.
Got it. Or you can call or send a WhatsApp message. The number is +91 984 56 77446.
Okay, +91 984 56 77446. We'll make sure those details are available.
Sounds good. It's clear this region has some amazing stories.
It really does. It makes you think, doesn't it? What stands out most to you listening right now about this blend of magic and nature? It definitely puts a different spin on what incredible India can mean.